Well, I don't know what's wrong with my camera. It's I don't know, it's everything's dark and I've been trying to fix it and I know the lighting's bad. So, there. I'm sorry. Can't fix it. And I would be using my iPhone to do videos, but I have a hard time getting the longer videos to get onto YouTube. So, anyway, so I'm doing it this way again. And I need to talk about, again, health. Because I think in my last video, yes, this is wine. In my last video, I was talking about this problem I was having with my wrist, right here. It's still numb. It's not as bad, and again, I'm not really worried about it. I think, though, I was connecting all of the dots of what this could be and how I could be at the verge of a very serious illness. But again, I'm not going to worry about it. So let me show you the dots, or explain to you the dots that I had connected. So a couple of weeks ago, I mentioned that I was walking up the stairs and I fell, and I banged my wrist on the banister, and I had a huge bruise in this area. And then I think maybe a week later, I had the flu, and my fever was very high, close to 104, and for a good 2.5 days, I had a high fever. It didn't stay that high. It was 103 the first day, averaging 103, and then the second day was like 101, and then the third day it was like 99, and then it went back to my normal temperature. And I know that a lot of times, like when you have a viral infection or a bacterial infection, that those diseases can precipitate an autoimmune disorder. So I was thinking to myself, this could be autoimmune. This could be something where, because the symptoms are so weird, the inflammation is coming from within, and just within the past couple of days, nothing has precipitated inflammation and swelling, other than those events that had happened weeks before. So, so I started thinking, is this autoimmune? Is this a weakened area of my body? Again, weakened because of the injury, and then the fever, which, whatever pathogen, because I didn't take any drugs for that when I had the flu. But that pathogen could have triggered an immune response, and then whatever antigenic component that the immune response was responding to, maybe that was similar to some sort of protein that has been exposed after the injury, whether it be part of the connective tissue or maybe a protein in the skin, whatever. So there's, proteins here that have little amino acid sequences that could have been similar to the pathogen that was being attacked. And so when my immune cells, now having been remembering that antigenic determinant, now when they see it here, now they're targeting it, and that's leading to the rash, the numbness, and all of that. So that's what is going on in my scientific brain that understands how the immune system works. So that's one theory. And it could be the correct theory. And I'm really hoping it's not autoimmune, because I really don't want to have an autoimmune disorder. In an autoimmune disorder, your body is attacking its own tissue. And I would prefer that my body not attack my own body. So, thinking about this evening, because I don't think it's anything else. I don't think it's carpal tunnel. My hand's moving fine. I just feel numbness, and again, I can't really move it in certain directions. So driving home tonight, I decided that, what is the energy telling me? First of all, it's my left wrist, and the left side of your body is the female side, and it's also the side that receives. It receives energy, it receives love, it receives the universe. the right side is the male, and the right side is the outgoing. So like when I studied and became certified in Reiki, you learn about these energy patterns, and you're giving healing energy at the right side, receiving it on the left. So I started asking myself, okay, well, is there something within me where I'm not opening myself to receiving love? And it's very possible. I'm recently out of a relationship, and it could be that maybe I'm not opening myself up to receive love from other people, whether it be romantic or whether it be friendship or whether it just be anything. So I was consciously keeping that as something that I need to do to be more receptive. I do tend to give a lot of myself, but maybe it's time for me to just receive instead of doing all the work and helping everybody or doing everything for everyone else, especially my dogs. I do a lot for them. And maybe it's time for me to step back and say, what can I open myself up to receive? So there was that thought. And then I started thinking, when part of your body is inflamed or when it's suffering something, that is kind of anger. Inflammation, there's a lot of anger there. There's a lot of fear even. So I decided to consciously imagine that there was this healing orb, this healing glow of kind of bluish green color right here. And as I was driving home from work, I was just imagining this healing light right there on my wrist. And honestly, since I've been home, my wrist, having just thought that and having sending lots of love and telling my wrist how much I love it, I was actually kissing my wrist, saying, I love you, and I respect everything you've done for me my entire life, helping me do everything from cartwheels and hugging people, and you've been such a wonderful, beautiful wrist that I was just showing gratitude for my wrist, and that I didn't want my wrist to feel so much inflammation and pain, and I apologized for having fallen and hurt it. And again, imagining that healing light. So really, doing those two things, I feel much better. My wrist feels a lot better right now. It feels a little numb still, and there's still some redness, but I know that it's healing. Another thing that I did is I had this grounding mattress pad that I haven't slept on in a while, and it was so interesting. Yesterday, I received an email about some women's wellness whatever, and there was this free 60 or 75 minute presentation from this woman, and I don't know what, normally I don't watch those. It was from David Wolf and his women's wellness conference, and normally I don't watch those because I just don't have time, and I don't have TV now, so I was thinking, oh, this is something to watch while I'm eating dinner, and I watched it, and she was talking about grounding and the benefits of being grounded, and I got my grounding pad out, and I also got my grounding mattress pad that I put on my bed, and I slept on that last night. The mattress pad, it's connected to a rod, and I put it out my window since it's such a beautiful night tonight, and I stuck that right into the ground. So it's actually grounded in the earth. And then this one is grounded into just the ground plug in the outlet. So I'm trying to get the energy from the earth into my body so I feel more connected. So these are just some ideas that I've been playing around with, that I've incorporated into my life, because I don't like feeling pain, and I don't want to fall prey to my illness or whatever this is. I don't want it to be something that takes over me. I want to work with it. I want it to be a lesson, because all of life is a lesson, and I think you need to learn from all of this. Another thing that just popped up in my head, that was starting just right now while I'm talking, that created a little bit of anxiety for me, is my recent ordeal with the car dealership. So My car has been running fine, no problems with my car whatsoever. A couple of days ago, one of the little engine lights came on. I think it was for the catalytic converter. So I thought, well, you know what? I think I'm overdue for an oil change. I'll go ahead and get it scheduled. Got it scheduled, and I was thinking $100 or less for an oil change, and just have them look at that light because the car doesn't seem to be having any problems, so maybe something just sparked it off. Turns out to be, this is going to be like an $1,100 ordeal. And I know nothing about cars, and here I am always feeling like I can't bother people and I just trust people, and I'm like, okay, do what you need to do to fix everything. Because they said I was, overdue for getting things checked, and so there was like a $600, where they check everything. And then when they called me about the light, they're like, well, there was some condensation and we need to replace some tubes, and that's $400. And then add tax, that's like $1,100. And I'm like, that's a lot of money. So I was talking to my dad about that, and my dad, has had his truck for like 14 years, and he's like, he never does those things. He's like, if the car is not broken, why mess with it? And, he just does the basics of oil change, and I just feel like so gullible right now. Like, I've been taken advantage, and, this dealership just wants my money, and that's what they did. They said I needed these things, and I thought I needed them, but in reality, I probably didn't. And here I am starting to feel, like, angry that I was taken advantage of, but, there's nothing I can do about it now, because they've already done the work. I should have, in hindsight, talked to somebody about this before saying, okay, I'll just give you $1,100 that I'm going to have to charge because I can't afford that right now. And I should have talked about this. That's part of me. I need to ask more people to help me with things. Asking my dad, asking friends. And then my dad suggested, maybe, because this dealership is an hour away from my house. That's another thing. So I had to rent a car, I have to drive, and they gave me this huge truck that's just a gas guzzler. So overall, it's a very negative experience, but again, as with everything, I don't want it to be negative. I want it to be something I can learn from. And so, instead of me feeling sorry for myself and feeling like I was taken advantage of, which I have a tendency to do, I could go into the whole iPhone incident that I had about a month ago. I am going to just ease up on life. I'm not going to feel like I have to do everything on my own. And I'm going to actually start accepting other people's help. First, I have to be strong enough in my voice and ask for help and say, hey, I don't know if this is a good idea. Can you give me some advice? Or, can you help me find the best person to do this for me? So these are just some lessons, and I'm gonna be loving my wrist. I'm so glad that the human body is one thing that I do know a lot about. I don't know a lot about cars. I don't know a lot about TVs or phones, but I do know a lot about the human body, and I'm willing to help people with their human body. So I'm telling people that watch this video, if something's wrong with your body, I'd love to talk to you. I'm not a doctor. I can't diagnose. I can't tell you what you need to do, but I can hear you out. And I can give you some ideas of what I would do in your situation. And that's what I think I would want to hear from other people, like when my car is acting up. Which my car wasn't even acting up, and I'm paying $1,100 to do stuff to a perfectly working car. That said, again, I'm releasing the anger. It's a lesson. But, I think it's all about communication and exchange and working with one another. And anyway, it's all a lesson. This was an expensive lesson. But, here's the thing. Here's what and my dad kind of suggested this. So when I'm at the dealership and I'm giving them this huge $1,100 payment, I'm going to say, this is a lot of money for a 2011 car that I've just recently purchased. And I purchased this car because I heard it was reliable and that I wouldn't have to put a lot of money into it. And here I am putting a lot of money into it, and it was running fine. So is there a guarantee that, you know, you can tell me if something goes wrong, that you're going to back me up here? So that's all I can really do. You know, I can't do anything other than that. They've already done the work. You know, they can't undo the work, obviously. So that's my update. And I hope that me talking is something that can be beneficial to you. I don't know. Sometimes I just feel like I need to talk to the computer because I live alone and I can't really talk to the dogs. Well, I can talk to the dogs, but they don't. When they talk back to me, they are just talking in energy and love, and sometimes it's advice I don't really understand. So that's the video I have for tonight. Have a wonderful evening, and there'll be more to come.